Welcome back to the Next Level Show. Trying to shake off my voice. This is episode recorded post snap, so you get that post snap sleepy talk.
Sleepy talk.
The deeper, just more manly voice filled with testosterone, I would say.
It's like the episode Friends when Phoebe gets sick and she realizes that she's a better singer.
Yeah. I'm a better podcaster post snap because my voice gets deeper as a result.
Yeah. Me too. I have, I guess, some updates.
Before we do that, Mike, just want to let everybody know that we are on YouTube. If you guys don't know that, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give it to us a big solid. Or if you're listening to us on podcast of choice, we are not mad at it. But we just want you to still go ahead and type us in, search us real quick, subscribe, give us a thumbs up on the video. That just helps us kind of grow that channel out a little bit. Also, the below on each episode, we do have the show notes, timestamps, exactly what we're going to talk about each particular thing, just in case you're someone that likes to kind of skip around. Just wanted to give a quick updates as well to our Instagram handles. We are also on Instagram. I know some people skip the ending of it, so I'm going to put this at the beginning as well. You can follow us at the Next Level Show. My personal page is at John Alva Fitness, and Mr. Gabe's Prime and Glory. Mike is at Mike Nillis PT. So those are just the quick updates as that we got right now. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm so conditioned to hearing our Instagram handles and then just being like, okay, bye, and then just hitting end. Like where I heard that and I'm like, oh, it's time. We're done. What just happened?
That's it. We're done. That's a wrap. Thanks for coming.
So yeah, we had I don't know if I told you this or not. We had Oliver's 9-month checkup appointment thing with his doctor. He got a couple shots, which was kind of funny to see the difference because he's gotten shots before. I mean, he got shots like 2 seconds into the world. But this one was a little different. He's a little bit more coherent and aware, and he likes people. So, the nurse came in and he's like pulling on her face mask and like being all Oliver with her. And then same thing with the doctor. Doctor has to like check his temperature through his ear and like look in his ear and look in his mouth and all that kind of stuff. So he's being all playful with people. And then the doctor's like, oh, look at my little flashlight thing. And she like goes to like look in his ear and he like fucking hates it. And then she grabs the little thing, that thing where they have to like look at his inside of his mouth. And she did that to him. He fucking hated it. And then his whole demeanor towards her changed where like he was crying and like Jen picked him up and he literally gave the doctor the fucking stink eye. Like with his face, he said, don't ever come near me again. Like stay the fuck away from me. And then when the nurse came back in to get shots, he was all excited because, new person, didn't understand that he was about to get a little stabbed. And then she like, swabbed him down, hit him in the thigh, and his whole face just like lit up. And same exact thing, dude. Like if looks could kill, he gave her the fucking death stare and literally like, don't ever come near me again, woman. Like that was what his face said. It was really, really, really funny. But one of the, like development checks that they ask is, like if he's mumbling, crawling, holding his head up, sitting up, things like that. And they're like, oh, is he able to like pull himself up to a standing position yet? Like he's tried, he can like get up to a point and then it's like he stumbles upon it every once in a while. He just can't quite get that leg through into like that lunge position so he can, come up into a standing position. And it was like he understood what we were talking about because literally like that night he just was able to do it. He was just like, oh, I can stand up now. That's fine. Like I've been doing this all along. Like no problem. It's just like, it's fucking crazy. Like in the matter of literally an afternoon, like he learned how to do something new. It was fucking nuts. But dude, that kid has a fucking motor, bro. He scoots around the house now. He is not just crawling. He is fully mobile and he is literally getting into everything. We have to like completely take everything in our house that's at this level, and we need to move it up here so that he can't get to it. Because he's a terror, like in a good way, but he is a terror. If there's something within his reach, he's going to grab it. He's going to taste it. Without a doubt, 100%.
Why do you think that infants do that, where they put stuff in their mouth?
So part of it is because it's one of the only interactions that they have. It's really all they got. I mean, they can't, do much else. So they grab and they just immediately taste it, because part of it is also teething. I mean, that's, just finding something to kind of soothe it. And then I've also read that part of it could be like a subconscious immune system boosting type thing, where he's picking things up and putting them in his mouth, and that's giving him germs in a way. I don't know if that's like actually what's going on, or if that's just like almost like an unintended side effect. But that's definitely part of it. And I mean, I'm the kind of person, I let him just kind of do what he's going to do. If he's going to get hurt, I'll stop him to a certain point. But he also needs to learn, like, you can fall. If you pull on certain things, they're going to fall. And it's, I'm not letting him pull a 70-inch flat screen on his face like it's going to kill him. But, he's got to learn, right? Otherwise, he's just going to go through life, and it's kind of a weird, it's kind of a weird balance. So the same thing applies. Like, if he's going to try to taste my flip-flop, I mean, I'll be like, don't do that. And he'll kind of look at it and kind of taste it. And then he'll like set it down because it's gross. And it's like, okay. And then he's like, I don't want to taste that again because it was nasty. And it's like, okay, you learned, So it's actually like, it's pretty exciting. It's interesting, because he's at this new stage where everything's like brand new to him, and it's also new to us because he was basically just a little burrito, right? He just went where we went, and now he's got a mind of his own, and he's capable of exploring. So it's pretty exciting, and also a pain in the ass.
Yeah. I have to go see him soon, man. I haven't seen him since he was still like just in the little.
Dude, he's
cradle
giant.
thing.
He is literally giant now. He's still in the same car seat. It's rated up to like a certain height and a certain amount of pounds, but he basically fills it. It's actually terrifying to see, because he used to be like this big in the car seat. Now he's just like, he's like a full grown human almost, but not really. It's crazy.
That's good, man. Fatherhood is doing you well.
Yeah, there is one more update, not to take up all of the talking time, but there is one more update. This past weekend, I waited to tell you this because I had to go through and like tell my 800 family members. But I actually proposed to Jen.
Oh,
she said no. Yeah, so
shut up.
She shot me down. Yeah.
No way. Shut up.
No, she no, she didn't. It wasn't like a complete surprise. I mean, we talked about it before, and I was pretty much waiting for her brother's wedding to pass, so as to not steal their thunder. But yeah, we used to like go to a park back when I lived with my parents and she lived with her parents. We didn't have really anywhere to go, so we would go to like random parks and hang out and sit on the bench and talk and like, whatever. So we did that again. We went to a park and we were sitting on a bench, and I just kind of did it there. She had a ring that I got from her mom that came from her grandmother, that's from like the 1950s or something like that. So she's got like a like a fairly old family heirloom ring now that just got resized so it fits and all that stuff. So super exciting.
Congratulations. Exciting. Big news in the Mike household. I love it.
Yeah.
Congrats, man.
Thanks.
How's it feel?
It feels good, and it's funny because we have absolutely no idea how to plan a wedding or what we want out of a wedding. And I think all that I really want is for Darth Vader to be the one to marry us. And I'm thinking about doubling down on that one because
how does she feel about that?
She was fine with it. I mean, neither of us are really religious, we're already, to me, owning the house and having a baby and having a life together, that's as committed as it gets. Marriage to me is not as, I don't want to say important, but I'm already committed to her. So
Yeah,
marriage is the next step. And of course I want to do that. And I know it means a lot to her. So of course we're going to get married, but um, it's not as, it's not to be as taken as seriously as some people do.
yeah,
In the sense of like how the reception and ceremony and all this stuff has to happen. Like it doesn't have to be like religious or anything like that. I mean, it's, we're pretty open to whatever, basically is what I'm saying. So
gotcha.
um she's okay with the idea of Darth Vader, but we'll
I
see.
know you're loving that.
Yeah. Well, and I may double down on it, and I figure I can probably like, there's got to be a Darth Vader guy that will come out and marry us, officiate or whatever the term is, if it's
Mhm.
not like a priest or reverend or whatever. But I was thinking rather than do all that, because that's probably going to be pretty expensive, I
I
may as
have
well.
I may have someone that can help you with that.
Okay.
We could talk about it.
Well, I was gonna say I may as well just bite the bullet. I could just buy like a really high quality Darth Vader costume and size it for myself, and then find somebody about my size, pay to get him certified or whatever, and being an officiate, and then he can wear my Darth Vader suit. And then not only do I get married by Darth Vader, but I now own a Darth Vader suit. So
That's so funny, bro. You literally are scheming this whole thing out in your head. I know you put some thought into this.
yeah, I
It's
did.
talking about marriage. I literally posted a meme yesterday. I don't know how much you're on Instagram anymore, but
Ever.
I think it's still on right now. So basically, I posted a meme that I just found it was funny. Ironically enough, we're talking about marriage, but it was like basically shout out to Mind Pump Adam. He posted it, so I was like, this is too funny. It's typical stuff that he would post. So I posted it myself, and I got some like messages about it. And some people thought I was like people. Sometimes people think that I'm literally serious about what I post, and it's just to me when I find something that's funny or controversial, I like to share it. So basically, about wedding, it's like this guy. I don't know if you can see that there, Mike. That post. Oh shit! Hold on.
It's gone.
There it is. There we are. So for those out on YouTube, it's just a little picture of a guy proposing to a chick, and basically the guy is saying, with the shiny rock invested from the guts of the earth by the child at gunpoint, will you sign this government contract with me that you can get out of any time? The girl's like, yes, 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 1,000 times yes. So obviously, it's not like a very cheerful message for anyone watching that. But I just thought it was just a funny, sarcastic thing. And then I got a lot of like messages like, is that true about the blood diamonds? And I'm like, uh, I don't
Dude,
know.
it is
But
actually, it's kind of a funny position to be in though, because it's a religious ceremony. That's where it comes
correct.
from. That's the roots of marriage, is you're getting married in front of, in the eyes of God and the eyes of your family and the eyes of the church, all that stuff. So if it's like, I'm not a religious person and neither is Jen, so it's
Mm,
kind of it at like where we are, it is more of a legal contract than it is anything religious. And like that's a very cold and blank way of putting it, but at the at the basis definition of what marriage is, if you are not religious and you're not getting married in the eyes of God, then it's basically just a legally binding contract that you're going to be together forever.
mhm.
And you can take it out of it whenever you want, but not that we have any expectations of that happening. So it's kind of just, I don't know. It's a
It's
commitment to another
interesting.
person, which I'm all for, and I am ready to commit to her and I want to commit to her. But it's just funny because it's just not a religious thing to me. So
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
interesting. Yeah, my view on marriage has changed like throughout the years, and I will keep my thing to myself there. But it's just funny that I posted that particular
No, no,
meme,
no.
and it
Get
just
spicy.
literally. Well, basically what you said, right? I mean, I do come from a religious background, so I do come from a Christian household, so I do understand like for my family what marriage is very important. Like to when someone gets married in my family, it's like a big deal, or it's viewed like, oh my god, they've progress to this new step? When are you gonna get married? Like I'm almost 30 years old, so it's like I don't feel that pressure within myself to just pull the trigger on something because this is a serious matter, right? So and I'm a very analytical person, so I look at, this is a contract that we are binding ourselves to, that that we can technically break. So I don't know, like, why, like, it, to me, in some cases it doesn't make real sense, but I do understand the value. I'm not saying, I do think that it's a beautiful thing when it is, but like for you said, like you don't want to use just more of like just making it more official, but you're already there mentally, right?
Yeah.
Like, I would love to have, I would most likely do it depending on if that's really important to the person I'm with, but it's I don't look at it like as big as I used to when I was growing up, like this whole movie style thing. I would obviously most likely have a ceremony and have a dope honeymoon. That'd be my plan, I guess. So
That's that's exactly it. And that's more where we're leaning to is, have like a small, like kind of conservative wedding. And then if there's any kind of ceremony or whatever, not ceremony, what's the after thing called?
the
Reception.
reception.
Um, yeah, just have like a very chill like reception, nothing huge, nothing super expensive. And then I was like, I don't care where we go on our honeymoon, but we're crossing an ocean, with the exception of Alaska. If we go to Alaska, that counts. It's far enough away. But I want to go like way the fuck over there or way the fuck over there and go see some cool shit. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much our plan. Is exactly that. And when you when you said something about entering like a legal contract with somebody, my mind immediately went to 30-day notice to cancel. I don't know why. It's just like trainer
It's
brain taking over.
no,
Where it's like
no, you'll just be like, this is an agreement. Just fold the paper,
you fold
slide
it
it
up. So you
over.
like dirt bikes, huh?
Yeah. And this is an inside joke for our listeners. Just don't know. We come from a
Oh
background
my
that's
god.
just it just always gets us every time, man. But yeah, no, congratulations, dude. I don't want to rain on your parade. I'm really
No,
happy
that's
for you, man. I like Jen a lot, so I think you guys are doing great. And yeah, keep me posted, man. If it's something that's open, I'll pop. I'll obviously be there. We have another wedding for one of our friends that's getting our mutual friend that's getting married. So next year we also have something to we're gonna be in. I think you're in the wedding, right? For our friend Tomas.
for Tom. Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I'm in the
Well,
yeah.
I am too. Technically, I think I'm the best man. So I'll have to prepare a speech and everything. So I'll be like dinging the little cup. I'm gonna do it just for dramatic effect. But yeah, I mean, weddings are cool, man. I've been to a couple more in the last couple years. Had a lot of fun. So it's just I just posted that yesterday. Just caused like a nice good conversation with some people, and I saw some people resharing it. So it's crazy. It's changed a lot in the last couple years. It's definitely not the same as it was just even 20, 30 years ago. So definitely
Yeah.
very interesting.
Well, I mean,
Go
okay,
ahead.
yeah. I was gonna say we could branch off into a whole conversation about why things have changed in the past 30 years, but let's talk about some exercise,
Yes.
fitness
Just
related stuff.
we're transitioning, ladies and gents, to the final portion, the part that you have come to, unless you guys love the random banter at the beginning. But today's episode, I think it actually is like we're talking about celebrations, right? We're talking about happy things essentially. We are entering the last 2 months of the year. We have just crossed Halloween. We are now coming up to the next two big holidays, and some people may not celebrate some of them, but basically Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's are around the corner, and I think it'd be a perfect opportunity to cover some of these points that we're going to go into about essentially just giving yourself permission to enjoy the holidays. I made a post about this last year or 2 years ago. I can't remember, but it's something that kind of always sticks in my brain around this time. When I start seeing November roll over, we have start the plans for planning where are we going to go for Thanksgiving, who's going to be cooking, and then my brain automatically goes to some of the conversations that I will have with some people. It's just part of the job, but also my personal life, because right now I did start an 8 week cut at the big on the 1st of November. I started an 8 week cut. Ironically enough, it's on the most two festive months of the year. But even with that being said, I think there's some valuable points to talk about here. And even giving myself that, like, it's all right. We have a plan. I never expect myself to be so perfect because I'm not competing. So it doesn't matter to that extent of a competitor. Now, if I'm competing, it's a different ball game. But for the average person that's listening to this, you know, you can 100% still follow your plan, make tremendous progress, not stress over the fact that you're gonna be having some days and some nights that you're gonna be prioritizing family time, good food, maybe your sleep schedule's a bit off, maybe even your workout routine is going to be a bit off. But out of the total, what is it, 62 days or whatever that's like left in those 2 months, it's not going to make such a big impact if you just kind of do the other things throughout the day, throughout the rest of the weeks. So I just kind of wanted to highlight that is you have to give yourself permission to enjoy the holidays. And I know it's kind of funny to say because it's like, we're adults. What do you mean give ourselves permission? But I mean, literally give yourself permission mentally up in your head, because the way you talk about it, the way you view it, I know some people have maybe some restrictive mentalities or restrictive thoughts when it comes to exercise and nutrition. So I think it's a perfect time to highlight this. I don't know what you think, Mike.
I'm just going to throw out some random numbers just because my brain immediately goes to this, because people put so much weight on how many calories you eat for Thanksgiving dinner or New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve or whatever. If we omit New Year's Eve, just for the sake of it, if you eat 3 square meals a day, 365 days out of the year, that's 1,095 meals. If you're consuming 2,000 calories a day, every day for 365 days, that's almost 750,000 calories. 730,000 fucking calories. Those 2 meals are not even a drop in the fucking bucket using either one of those numbers. You still have 10,902. I'll be generous and give you an extra meal because they're so taxing, and the turkey and mashed potatoes. Oh my God. It's not going to make a fucking difference. If you're trying to get on stage on December 26th, then maybe that'll make a difference because you're going to be bloated from mashed potatoes and green bean casserole. But it's really not a big deal. Like, you're going to gain so much more benefit out of the other 1,090, however many meals, the other 730,000 calories that you'll get throughout the year than you are from just worrying about those 2 days. And, if you are in the middle of like a super intense cut or anything like that, then track your fucking calories, like we always say, and just account for it. Give yourself the space to enjoy yourself and have fun, because it's the holidays and you should enjoy the holidays. That's what they're there for. That's my 2 cents. I've always been, I like Thanksgiving more than Christmas. Now, as I'm older, it used to be the other way around because, I want an Xbox, a dirt bike, and whatever else. But I like Thanksgiving more. It's just more enjoyable to me. So that's like the day I care about more. And I'm not worried about the amount of calories that I'm consuming, but especially now with Oliver, I think the tide is going to shift the other way again, because he's going to be new to Christmas. He's never had one. So, but I plan on fully enjoying every aspect of that. If there's cookies, I'm eating it. If there's pie, I'm eating it. It's not going to stop me from achieving whatever goal I have. My watch just told me that I reached my standing goal, and I'm not standing. That's it.
But no, but I like the math you did. That's actually pretty crazy. I didn't even go to that extent, but that is for someone that likes numbers, that is a pretty big part there. Give me 1 second, Mike. Go ahead and if you want to add something there, I'm just gonna change the internet really quick, and it's gonna give us a block for a second.
It's something that people dread because they've been doing so well, and they're really, really worried that Thanksgiving is gonna trigger something in them that's going to just completely throw them off the wagon. And it almost like, I don't remember where I saw this, but it was like a TV show or a movie or something like that. A kid was like sneaking around and being sneaky, and the dad like caught him or whatever. And he's like, I'm not mad about what you were doing. I'm mad that you were sneaking, because if you were sneaking, it means you think you were doing something wrong. And like that thought process kind of like coincides with this in some way, shape, or form, where
Mm-hmm.
you feel like you're doing something wrong by enjoying food 1 or 2 or 10 days out of the year, when in
Mm-hmm.
reality, that's perfectly acceptable. That's how you should be doing it. It's just those are the exceptions, not the rules. So, don't approach it with that mindset where you feel like you're doing something wrong. Give yourself some leeway. And I mean, if it really is that big of a deal, then, restrict your calories the day before and the day after, and it will zero out. You'll carry some water weight for a couple of days, go do some fucking cardio. It'll go away, and you'll be right back on track.
Yeah.
Just don't stop what you're doing just because of 1 or 2 days. That's the only thing you have to do. I mean, really.
No, yeah. I just for people that don't know, I have dual internets here at the house. So then for some reason my computer favors this one. So hopefully the sound quality it's much neater on my end. So hopefully you guys are also listening to some good quality, crisp sound. But no, great point is just it's this whole notion of doing something bad or fucking up. It's it's something that's so like weird about the fitness space in general because people have that mindset. But with others, if you look at the majority of things, you don't look at, you know, you were 5 minutes late to your job. Oh my God, I fucked up. Oh, my whole day is ruined. You're typically like, oh, whatever. I come to work like every freaking day. You know, how many
Yeah.
whatever days you can do the math in your head, whatever. But you're not going to be upset over one incident that's going to happen. And what I also tell people is that when it comes to overall health here, it's not only about how you look and the physical piece, it's also about your relationships with the people around you, because if you have poor relationships with the people around you, if you have a poor relationship with food and you're always super strict and on point with everything, then that is no longer considered healthy as an overall thing. You may look great, but then your other areas of your life are suffering, and you want to kind of use health and fitness to make your life better, not worse, if that makes sense. You don't want to, like I said, unless you are a competitor, and that is very important to you, and that is your lifestyle, you do not have to be stressing over the holidays. Even though I am cutting, even though I have a plan and I'm following meals pretty consistently throughout the day with very minor changes, I'm still going to enjoy those holiday stuff and still try those foods. The good thing about me, I know that maybe some people may not, is that I have a good amount of self control when it comes to that because I don't care for Thanksgiving that much when it comes to the food selection. Personally, I always eat pretty healthy on Thanksgiving. I chase a lot of the lean meats. I have, the only thing that I'm a victim of is maybe a fruit salad, but besides that, I'm eating kind of like more healthy food. So and technically it'd just be a refeed for me. Like that's the way I look at it. And I'm gonna go have a kick-ass workout. So the way I look at it is like go enjoy yourself with your loved ones that you may not even, there's some family members that you don't even get to see on a regular basis. That's the best part about the holidays, in my opinion, is that you're making those connections, those memories, those moments of laughter. And then once that's over, the next day, if you're not too hungover, go and have an amazing workout and look at it from a perspective like instead of I messed up or I'm off track, be like, cool, this is part of my life. And now I'm going to go have an amazing workout full of energy and calories that I'm going to be able to, who knows, maybe break a PR that weekend, or maybe just feel amazing in the gym. Maybe you were feeling a little bit lethargic and stressed out due to work and life, maybe low calories. You have those higher days. That's a perfect excuse to just train a little bit more and have fun with it and make it a game, and maybe invite a family member that you've been talking to about your fitness journey, and they go join you, and maybe you might inspire them to start doing something before the New Year's resolutions. You just never know all the many different options, the ways that this can go for you when you change your relationship with the holidays. It's a special time. The way I look at it, it's like it can be a very special time for you. Have fun, make it enjoyable for you, make good memories. Don't go crazy. And what I'm saying is that you don't have to go gung ho like you maybe used to. Have some self control if that makes you feel better, but still don't miss out and don't hide away and don't try to avoid the holidays or dread them.
Yeah, and at the very least, you can approach it with, just like he's saying, just approach it with a, a moderate mindset where, you're going to go and you're going to eat some food that you normally wouldn't eat, maybe wouldn't be the best choice, but given the circumstances of the holiday, it's like, okay, I will have pumpkin pie or whatever, but don't approach it with the mindset of like, okay, no rules. I'm just going to eat until I explode. I mean, if that's the way that you want to do it, you can. Nothing wrong with that. It's like I said, 1 or 2 days out of the year is not going to kill you, but reasonably, Thanksgiving, at least like a traditional Thanksgiving dinner, isn't really that bad for you. I mean, it's turkey, that's lean meat. There's maybe mashed potatoes and stuffing and green beans. It's kind of carb heavy, but usually not a bunch of like fried foods and, really, really awful things. It's not like there's worse things that you could be eating than a traditional Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner.
There are people that are having more Thanksgiving-ish type dinners on the weekends, and they're stressing about this when they're doing that on a regular basis and they're not seeing progress. So it's like when we come down to the saying of like, what are we even talking about? Like, what are we stressing about here? Like you want to look at it. We always talk about from a point of logic. We also understand that we are humans and we have behaviors and emotions attached to this. But you got to look at it from a logical point. Like we said, like some people, you can do so much worse on an average weekend going to a restaurant, smashing the appetizer, smashing the drinks, and you're accumulating a ton of calories and then offsetting your progress in the sense of like maybe you were in a calorie deficit, you completely offset it. Now, from a logical standpoint, when it comes to gaining fat, approximately it takes about 3,500 calories to add an extra pound. So that's literally, you would have to eat your weight, the amount of calories that you need to sustain your current weight. And on top of that, you would need to surpass that by 3,500 calories. And the reality is that I've seen a lot of people can't do that in a single sitting. Like they can't overeat that much consistently because they get sick. So it's not something I would really stress. Obviously, be mindful. If you're someone that I'm going to give you also some takeaways for someone that maybe needs some more of a strategy. And this is something that I'm going to apply. And I'm still going to enjoy the actual meal. I'm not going to be weird with family and friends. I'm still gonna and maybe have some alcohol, maybe have some desserts. But what I'm gonna do, since I am following a little bit of more of a concise program and plan, I'm gonna be actually also maybe those days minimizing the carbohydrates that I would eat in my other meals that I have planned out normally, and just prioritize my protein because the protein is usually where people drop the ball. And then even when I go eat, naturally, I do like eating high protein, even in a normal meal out. I feel better. So I'll prioritize in a Thanksgiving setting, eating all my protein first and prioritize that as a main thing. Eat until I feel satiated. Then I'll move on to just smashing some vegetables. Then I'll move on to some mashed potatoes and kind of work my way to the good stuff, because by the time I get to the desserts and stuff, since you're so satiated and you feel so good, you're comfortable, you don't have that urge to indulge and go crazy with the not so healthy options that you may be presented with. And you can still enjoy it, taste it for what it is, because it tastes great. Enjoy it. If your grandma made something that's super special to the family, don't deny grandma's food. Just have obviously the other stuff first and then have that as a result. And I know a lot of you guys may not even be doing anything super crazy or structured when it comes to body composition right now, possibly. I don't know, depending on who's listening. But if it is you, then this is some tips that I would advocate for. Mike?
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. And then, I mean, even if you wanted to just go balls to the wall, restrict a little bit the day before, restrict a little bit the day after, and then just like Jonathan said, go get a fucking killer workout the day after. Because you think of it like this: if you're loading up on, okay, you're a professional eater, you ate 10,000 calories, ridiculous amount of food. Okay, go use those 10,000 calories. Your gas tank is now past F. You're so beyond full of energy. Just go use it. It's not the end of the world, and you may actually have a pretty good time. You're going to take a pretty big dump too, so that'll, depending how you feel about that.
Yep. I think a good trick too is this is a time that you say like kind of restrict a little bit before and after. It's just in a way, if you want to keep it simple, just this is when the whole intermittent fasting maybe has its place. This is when you structure maybe an eating window that you're not gonna, like, you already have, you're gonna make up those calories, so you're purposely not gonna eat necessarily all those calories leading up to the dinner. So you have the budget, you created that room for yourself, that flexibility, and you get to enjoy those foods for what they are, or those holiday moments. And then you just you can repeat a small fast afterwards, or just go get back on track the next day. It's up to you, depending on how you're feeling. But these are just some like little tips and tricks to kind of play with yourself, in the sense of like, hey, I'm gonna beat the psychological piece. That sounded bad. I should have made a pause. Playing with yourself is just like, pause mentally. Up here, you're going to be fixing all those bad relationships you have with food, possibly, and the way you look at yourself. So, or exercise and food, right? So just go ahead and just attack this from a more strategic place. Make a game plan for yourself. But like I said, at the foundation of it all, give yourself permission to enjoy the holidays this year.
Do you know how to make holy water?
I do not.
It's pretty obvious. You just boil the hell out of it.
Ooh, yeah, that was pretty good. I think I have one. Hold on, I gotta find it.
While you're doing that, we very jokingly said, "Oh, let's go get tattoos tomorrow." And now this isn't a dad joke. This is real. I think we are going to go get tattoos, but neither of us have ideas. And I'm trying to think of just like a random funny tattoo that I could get that wouldn't really mean anything. Did anything come to mind?
No. I would just put my initials, honestly.
Yeah. So like
JA.
JFA.
There you go.
Yeah. Did you go ahead and tell your joke, and then I have a question, then we can do the outro stuff.
Did you hear about the chameleon that couldn't change color?
No.
He had a reptile dysfunction.
Ooh.
Shout out to Mr. Russ Prentice for always posting the little memes with the little dad jokes, intentionally to disrupt his social media platform. He causes mayhem and his wife gets upset, but it's funny.
If you stop to think about it, there's some pretty crazy shit in the animal kingdom with chameleons and octopus and like cuttlefish, camouflage, changing colors, bioluminescence, all that kind of stuff. It's fucking weird. Spiders weave webs that have the highest tensile strength per pound. It's fucking crazy. There's a bunch of weird ass animals on our planet. And
yeah,
I don't know. Like camouflage always like, it kind of freaks me out a little bit. Like how and why is that even possible? But it is. But so either way.
I follow this guy on TikTok, and it's one of my favorite accounts. And the only reason why I really have TikTok, and he just talks about random animal facts. And dude, the way he narrates the story, like the whole part, I don't know if you've ever came across this stuff. I think I've maybe sent some to the group, but basically he was talking about mountain lions, how mountain lions usually won't attack a human being like to eat you, but they will come at you. But to actually, the way to avoid getting mauled to death and turn into a hashtag, as he says, is you want to make is that you want to make sure that you're stepping back, facing him, standing nice and tall, and making firm, deep noises to kind of keep it, and it'll just continue to lunge at you. But this hiker was getting followed by one for about 6 minutes, dude. Just the thing
I've
just
seen that.
kind of yeah, it's probably a pretty popular video. But he says that what he did actually is what you're supposed to do in a situation like that. Like 90%, he says that you're gonna be okay, and 10% is basically you're gonna be in the afterlife feeling really stupid. But but it's just the way he narrates it. But yeah, just crazy, like the stuff that I used to love this as a kid, watching animal stuff. It's always super interesting.
Yeah.
I gotten away from it obviously, but this guy, like he does a really good modern, like fun way of just learning something really quick in about 60 seconds, even up to 3 minutes, about just random animal facts. It's pretty cool.
It's funny because we have been on this planet with jungle cats and snakes and sharks and all these other just things that will, just obliterate you. They'll just kill you basically instantly. We don't have any natural weapons, but like a mountain lion, they can just fuck your shit up just because they want to. And it's got to be instinctual to not turn your back on a jungle cat and make yourself seem bigger and make loud noises to try and scare it off. Like, I don't feel like I need to be told that. It makes sense that that's what you should do. And it kind of seems like that's what I would naturally do if presented with that.
I don't know,
like,
man,
I'm not faster than a cougar. I'm not going to overpower a cougar for sure. And they have fucking razor blades on their fingers. So what is my only option? Backpedal and make loud noises. Like,
yeah.
What else do you really have?
And just really hope it doesn't square. And typically it's because you land really close to maybe their cubs where they're hiding in the bushes. So that's when they're going to get more aggressive. But it's like, you may not see them. They're usually in those mountains pretty like normal, but they don't really attack humans. And even though you don't see them, they see you, and they post like a little picture where like, dude, he literally has to circle it because you won't see it. It's just very like, he's so blended in that you cannot tell that he's there. It's crazy how much more inferior we are when it comes to just straight up. If it was hand-to-hand combat, we're done. Like he says, well, we turn into a hashtag.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's the only reason humans are on top is because we can form tribes and make tools. Yeah. And if you take a naked human, throw them out in the woods, you're a hairless monkey that has nothing to really work with unless you can craft a weapon. So that's really it. So if you're out and you're just making a TikTok in the woods and a jungle cat rolls up on you, you are going to be a hashtag because you're fucked. But so I don't know if Edwin told you, but his name has come up on our call list again because he's got an unused kickoff. And I finally I checked his account. He is set up like, I don't even know how many appointments, and he never fucking shows up. And one of my trainers, or one of the trainers, I can't click. He calls me Manager Mike. His name, the trainer's name is Jake, and he's awesome. But he came up, he's like, Manager Mike, this guy's set up like however many kickoffs, and he never shows up. And I saw the fucking name, Edwin Alvarez. I told you that. His name came up on the fucking call list again while I was doing calls, and I just immediately skipped right to his name, and I left him a voicemail like, bro, I don't want to see your name on this list anymore. Like, you're going to set up your appointment with me. We're going to schedule it. You're going to show up, and I don't care. We'll work out. It's fine. It's $10. Use it. If you don't show up, I'm charging it, and you lose it. That's it. Like, done deal.
Well, because technically, so they actually pay to do an assessment.
Yeah. He paid $10 for the kickoff. Okay. And it's not a lot of money. It's $10. I mean, you spend $10 at Chipotle. It's nothing, but it's the principle. Like, just get off my fucking list, bro. Like, come on. Stop making appointments and then not showing up. And then we're too kind-hearted to just charge it and remove it from his account. But he hasn't told me. He told me about the original way back like a month ago, but he hasn't told me anything since. And I know he goes pretty consistent. He's always there. Yeah, I see him in there a lot. He's getting bigger. You can definitely tell. And then
aesthetic.
One more. This is the longest outro ever. One more thing. This was super cool. I had a couple of early morning clients today, as per usual. A couple older women, which is the weird part. But I noticed this guy kind of like floating around me. He's like younger. And then after I was done with my sessions, I had like 30 minutes to talk to people or do whatever. Just kind of be busy. But he came up to me. He was like, "Hey, how much is a session?" And I was like, "Well, talk about that at the end of the kickoff. Varies depend on frequency and duration, blah, blah, blah. And I got to talking to him, and he's going to go through a kickoff with me, but he's a professional BMX rider. I don't even know
Oh
like
wow.
the official name, but I was like, what do you do for work? He's like, I ride bikes. And I'm like, motorcycles, like BMX bikes, what kind of bikes we talking? He's like, no, like, and he pulled out his phone and he showed me a bunch of videos. He's like, this is me in Austria, and it's him going through like this epic ass course doing some crazy fucking shit on a bike.
No shit.
And he was like, I want to train like at 6 p.m. or whatever. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm not meeting you at 6 p.m. bro. Like, that's past my bedtime. And so I was
Yeah.
like about to give him to somebody else. And he was like, no, no, no. I was kind of paying attention. I want to work with you because you seem like you know your shit. And I was like, well, I can't really say no to that.
Yeah.
But that was like very flattering because it kind of goes like, you told me, like, you're always like on display. It's kind of a sales floor in a gym.
Mhm.
And I kind of subconsciously treat it that way. But the fact that somebody
Mhm.
actually noticed and reached out, and I didn't tell him this, but I have no fucking clue what to do with a BMX rider. So I'm going to do a little bit of research. I would imagine it's basic shit,
Mhm.
rotational type stuff, but I don't
A
know.
lot of hip,
It was it was
a
pretty
lot of
cool.
hip work since they're consistently moving in that plane. Just making sure that he feels good
Yeah.
because he has impact based stuff. So
I was
just keeping
thinking
him strong.
I was thinking power without size. That was kind of my go-to thought. And then rotational things generated from the hips, generated from the shoulders, because he does a lot of like I don't know what they're called, the thing where he like flips the bike around and he goes up on the
Mhm.
thing and he's like scooting around that's on one tire and doing all this crazy shit. I was like, dude, that's fucking cool. He's like sponsored by Red Bull. He's got like a bus. I was like,
That's sick.
okay, like, yeah, I'll train you. Like, that's cool. Fine. Whatever. Whatever you want to
Yeah.
do.
Hell yeah, man. That like keep me posted with that.
Yeah, I will. I will for sure. I meet with him on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Oh man.
Sounds good, bro. So we'll wrap this up for our listeners. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Remember, give yourself permission this year, guys. Enjoy the special time with your loved ones. The memories are going to be more important than just the way you look. You can always work on that throughout the rest of the year. There's going to be many occasions, not many occasions where you're going to be able to create great memories. So make the most of it. That's kind of the point of the message here. Go ahead and share with someone that may need to hear this message. If you want to go ahead and check us out on the socials, on Instagram, we're at the Next Level Show. My personal account is at John Alba Fitness. Gabe is at Prime and Glory, and Mr. Mike is at Mike Nillis PT. And until the next one.